Welcome to 1000 PS. Welcome to the Gerlospass here in Austria. We're at about 1,500 meters and this is the Newchurch Summit. But what we're here to do is just to have an absolutely awesome time because 1000 PS have given me the opportunity not only to ride the new Street Triple 765 RX, but the new KTM Duke. This is the 990R. Now I've ridden incarnations of that bike and the standard model. I've ridden the standard 990 Duke, but I've not ridden the R variant and I've not ridden the RX variant before. But what we've done is got these two bikes together in almost the perfect playground because this road has almost been designed for both bikes. This is endless switchback hairpins, then into fast flowing corners. There's virtually nobody around and I've not seen a policeman for about 3 or 4 days. So this has been the ideal and perfect opportunity to test both bikes. First off, let's start with the new Triumph RX. So new for this year, 765 engine, 128 horsepower, 59 foot-pounds of torque at 9,500 RPM. It's the familiar Street Triple that we've seen before, but kind of like their most racy version without actually having race bodywork. So we've got full Öhlins adjustable suspension, front and rear. We've got those really impressive Brembo Stylema brakes. We've got these drop-down clip-on handlebars. As you'd expect, full 6-axis IMU, a full suite of rider aids like cornering ABS and traction control. We've got pretty simplistic switchgear and the simple dash that we've seen before and this unique kind of RX Triumph styling, which personally I really like. 3-cylinder engine, sounds intoxicating, sounds awesome, as we've come to love and expect from Triumph. On the flip side is KTM's 990 Duke. This is the R version. So for the R version, it's the 947 twin, around the same horsepower as the RX, 126, 127 horsepower, but 103 or 76 foot-pounds of torque. So we've got more torque from the parallel twin as opposed to the inline triple, which is what we'd expect. The high specification WP Apex suspension, as we'd expect from KTM, fully adjustable front and rear. The same or very similar Brembo Stylema brakes. And now we've got the Michelin Power Cup tyres on the KTM, and we've got Supercorsas from Pirelli on the Triumph. The big talking point, I think, for the KTM, apart from the styling, is this really impressive 8-inch TFT screen that is all touchscreen. We've seen that before on other models that I've ridden from KTM, but on this bike, it just makes more sense because on the 990 RCR, you can't kind of get in to do the touchscreen dash because you've got all the race fairing and bodywork, but on this model you can. Comes in this unique styling, orange wheels with the orange frame, which really sets it apart from the standard 990. In the UK, the price of the R is £12,499, so essentially £12,500. And if we go to the Triumph, we're at £12,895. So there's only a few £100 difference. They're both aiming at a very similar market. We're not talking extreme naked bikes with 150 horsepower plus. Both are kind of middleweight naked bikes, but the most extreme version. So they've both got the best suspension. They've both got the best brakes. They've both got 6-axis IMU. They've both got multiple rider aids. They're both aimed at people who are going to ride on the street, occasionally have some fun, and maybe possibly go on track on the odd occasion. It's interesting that both bikes are aiming for a pretty similar target audience, but both feel very different and look very different. In terms of style and appeal, KTM have always gone on a different kind of route. Some people love, some people hate this kind of real individual headlight and styling. And equally with the Triumph, some people kind of love and hate the kind of bug-eyed, kind of insect-looking headlight. In terms of how they feel when you're sat on the bikes, the Triumph is much racier, much more further forward, little clip-on bars, pegs a little bit higher. It's not super aggressive, but it's more aggressive. It feels more like a sports bike with the bodywork removed. Where the KTM feels much more like the standard 990 Duke, sat up, a bit more relaxed, a bit more comfortable. What really sets the KTM above the Triumph in terms of feel and overall quality is that touchscreen dash. It's a complete revelation compared to the Triumph. Now I'm testing with the guys here at 1000 PS, and mistakenly they've put the dash in actual German and Austrian rather than English. But because it's so easy to use, and with all the graphics, I can actually work it out without actually understanding what's happening. So just by using the graphics and the touchscreen, I can change the rider modes, I can change the throttle position, I can change the throttle character, I can change the wheelie control, the slide control, I can change the ABS and let it back in supermoto style. It's all done pretty simple and it's all saved, and I can do that on the fly. I wouldn't say the switchgear is the most attractive. It kind of at first looks a little bit overcomplicated, but isn't. But when the problem is when you jump from the KTM to the Triumph, it's like going from almost like an iPhone to a Nokia, like a pay-as-you-go thing. It's so contrast and so different. The Triumph clocks have just started to feel a little bit dated and a little bit old compared to this unique, beautiful touchscreen appeal. In terms of riding experiences, they ride very differently. Like the Triumph has got a beautiful front end. The Öhlins suspension gives great feel, and I've got loads of confidence in these Supercorsa tyres from Pirelli. Those are the tyres that I would generally go towards if I was using a bike for track day road use. They warm up really quickly, they give loads of grip. Here in Austria in these hills, it's just been absolutely spot on. You can carry loads of corner speed, you've got loads of confidence with the front end, and those Brembo Stylemas work really, really well. I don't feel like I need to change that at all. I've just got on it and ridden it. With the KTM, it's got this fully adjustable WP suspension. The chassis is different compared to the standard KTM 990. It just feels a little bit stiffer and a little bit more rigid. It feels more like, strangely, it feels more like a race bike with straight bars, where the Triumph feels like a race bike with drop bars with no bodywork. And by that I mean is the Triumph is a little bit more forgiving, a little bit easier. The power delivery is a little bit smoother. That triple kind of power characteristic and sound, it just makes that a little bit easier to ride than the KTM. But those straight bars of the KTM, the torque of the KTM, makes it very playful and very easy to ride. It's a little bit strange because when you want to just pull it back a little bit and ride at, say, 7/10, and you just want to have some fun and switch off the anti-wheelie and pop a few wheelies coming out of hairpins, and you want to back into a few corners and just have a little bit of fun, then the KTM is this kind of playful friend of yours. When you want to enjoy the mountain roads, when you want to attack the corners, when you want to be potentially near knee down, then it's the Triumph 765 RX. If I was going to take both bikes on track, it'd be difficult. I think the Triumph would just come out on top, but you'd have to rev it a little bit more and work a little bit harder. If I was going to regularly use the bike in the city or for commuting, and then as an occasional weekend toy, then I think it would be the KTM. I know a lot of people are still in the past thinking about KTM reliability, the problems that KTM have had, and that might deter quite a few potential customers off the KTM. And I know some people are not going to like this kind of bug-eyed, weird looks of the KTM. It might be a little bit too radical. But equally with a Triumph, it's just starting to feel a little bit dated with the clocks and the switchgear. It's just not as sophisticated and as modern as the KTM. Which would I choose? It's a really, really difficult decision because I've got the rest of the afternoon to enjoy this beautiful mountain pass, and I want to ride them both. I want to ride that because it carries so much corner speed, and I almost wish I'd have brought some levers because it's just like knee down confidence into knee down confidence into knee down confidence. Every corner you just let off the brakes, carry the corner speed, rely on the front end and bury it in. The KTM, you ride it almost differently. You want to come up to the corner and try and back it in, slide it with a supermoto ABS, and then wheelie it on the way out and have it as a very, very different bike. It'd be interesting to get your views and your comments below. The real difficult one for me is if you rode that independently and never rode the KTM, you would love it. But if you rode the KTM first, you'd be disappointed by the dash and the lack of tech. And equally, if you rode that first, then you'd want the front end and trackability of the Triumph. It's a really, really difficult one to really split, but a thoroughly enjoyable test, especially on these amazing roads in Austria.